This year I got to sit down and play a lot of games. Games I'd never played when I was younger, games I've never heard of, and games that I looked over when they first came out. I played some retro games from the C64 era. I played some DOS games, modern indie titles to AAA powerhouses. From classics to forgotten, from shooting galleries to story-heavy titles, I got to play and enjoy gaming again. I was able to do this in part with emulation sites and preservation sites like c64.com, not sponsored, that work on preserving Commodore 64 games, and sites like Emu Paradise before they went and removed all their ROMs and ISOs, and then various other sites like that, like My Abandonware, that's a big DOS one that I love. Another part that I got to do this was due to my Patreons and my supporters there. I'll leave a link in the description for anybody who wants to check it out. I'm planning some big things this coming year, and if you want to support me in another way, you can do so below. Like I said, I got to play all kinds of games, some great games and some not so much. So here, come with me on my journey to look back at some of my favorite games this year, games that I played from completion, or to completion, and some games that I did not like, and some upcoming things that you can expect on the channel and live streams and such. So let's start with one of the games that I absolutely loved this year. It was Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Now this is a game I did not get to play back way in the day, which is understandable because I was more into the Gran Turismo and Medal of Honor back in the early PS1 days. But talking to my patrons, this was a Patreon pick. This was a favorite and I knew I just had to play it. So I did find it on a ROM site, found the bin file, and settled in for a game that's often looked at as the best Castlevania game in the series after Rondo of Blood, and the best game on PS1, and I have to say this is probably my favorite, most enjoyable game I've played this year. It's a little expensive to find on eBay. You know, I've found it from like 30 to 60, even more dollars, and that's without shipping. So I would love to get a physical copy, I'll just have to wait around for the right one. My second favorite game that I got to play is Astro Boy Omega Factor. Now, I did not have a Nintendo Game Boy Advance back in the day. I borrowed my friends very often. I was more of a console player back in the day. Still am kind of I'm a PC player, but I still love my consoles. And Astro Boy was never a series that I looked at as gaming. I watched the original animes back in the day. So this was a completely overlooked one until I was reading some, flashbacks reviews about old games or flashbacks to the best games on these certain consoles, and I saw this one. I was like, ooh, I love the art. I love how bright it is. I have to give this game a try. And I'm glad I did because this game is the best. I don't want to say the best Game Boy Advance title because I haven't played all of them. I haven't even played a lot of them. This game was awesome. My third favorite game was Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. This is an absolute classic and was already 2 years old when I was born in '93. So by the time I got into the age to play this or play video games, it was already in the PS1 era, which was really the dominant platform at the time. I did have an not an N64, an NES and SNES, but never got this game. This also happens to be the first Zelda game I have finished from start to finish. I have started Ocarina of Time. I'm currently playing that right now. I've started the first Legend of Zelda. I've played a bit of the second one. And then I think that's it. I played a little bit of Breath of the Wild. But as in the classic games, yeah, this is the first one I played from start to finish. This is an amazing, beautiful game. I don't think the art style, I don't think this game could ever be old. It's just so timeless and classic. I think it's one of the most highly regarded Zeldas, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe behind Ocarina, or they may be close, because those are the 3D Zelda, so those are different. But this game is beautiful. If you have not played A Link to the Past, you definitely have to. I don't know how much cartridges are to get. And you guys know I'm a fan of emulation sites, so I would say get an emulation at your own risk. Find that ROM file. My fourth favorite game is Monster Hunter World. I just love it. It lets me live out my fantasy of being a Fang from Final Fantasy 13 before, you know, all the wars and all that, and I could just be a hunter. Made my character look like her and everything. It's just awesome. This game is so beautiful. The environments are so detailed. I really don't know what else to say. Like, if you have not seen gameplay of Monster Hunter World, you're missing out. The new Monster Hunter, because not the PlayStation 2 games or the handheld games. Monster Hunter World. You definitely gotta try it. At least if you don't want to wait for, if you don't want to get it full price, wait for a sale. This game is totally worth it. There's a whole new world to explore and a whole host of cool weapons. It's just awesome. Or, if, you know, it's not really the same, but if you want to try it out, the Dauntless is kind of like it, but not really. Monster Hunter World has a little bit more freedoms to it. Dauntless is a little still restrictive. My fifth favorite game that I've played from start to finish is Earthbound. Now, I was never really one for turn-based strategy games, like the early Final Fantasies. I still kind of am not, but I am giving them a chance because it blocked me off from a lot of good games back in the day. Now, I was only 1 year old when this game came out, and like I said earlier, talking about Link to the Past, when I was ready to start gaming, the PS1 was already the dominant system. I did own an NES and SNES, but I never got to play this one, and when I was playing NES games and SNES games, I was playing beat-em-ups and side-scrollers and all that stuff, so this one never got played until recently, and this game is so cute! Oh my god, it's so cute and so dark at the same time. And it took me like 40 hours, I think, something, to play it from start to finish with a walkthrough because I got confused on where to go sometimes. But ooh, Earthbound is so cute and so lovable. And I managed to find a ROM of Mother 3, which is the sequel, technically, to Earthbound, because isn't Earthbound Mother 2? There's some weird conversions there. But that's my fifth game that I loved this year. And I will say, the contender right now, I am still playing it for loving it, is Persona 4 for PS2. I'm loving this game real hardcore. Like, it's not usually one for the turn-based combat, but I love me some Persona 4. It's hooked me in and I just can't stop playing it. Now, we have the good. Let's back it up a little bit and go to games that I played that I didn't enjoy. And some of these I have done reviews on, some of these will be reviews coming up. So my first game that I just couldn't get into, did not enjoy, was Versailles 1685, or Versailles: A Game of Intrigue. This game, oh dear. It's something, I will say. I played on the PS1 version, although I do have the DOS version as well. It is I get more into it in my review of the game, but it is a package that tries to be edutainment that falls very short, and it's just a hard pass. I'm gonna leave most of the spoilers, well, I don't know, there's not really spoilers, but most of the good stuff for the review that's gonna come out after this, so stay tuned for that. My second game that I didn't really enjoy, and I've already done a review on this, is Spawn 1995, Todd McFarlane's Spawn. You know, I like Spawn, love the comics were great. I even liked the movie, which a lot of people... It's one of those movies, it's so bad it's good that it's bad, you know? Everybody's got those movies. I never did get to finish this game. Even with codes, you have to be next to a god to play through this. From start to finish, it's up there with the likes of Hagane, Hagane is supposed to be one of the hardest NES games, or SNES games ever, although it was never released outside of Japan. But Spawn is right up there with being so difficult that it's not worth it. And I'm not gonna spend months trying to, perfect my skill to beat a 1995 game that I probably won't ever play again. Third game that I just could not get into, and I've played this one before, I played this one back in the day. I don't even think I finished it back in the day, was American Chopper. Made by Activision Value and Discovery, it's about as bad as the name says. It's a slap-together bad physics, motorcycle-based game on the American Chopper TV series. There's also a sequel to it. It consists of racing to get to one point, racing to get to one person, then go back to that point, or if you want to go into the open world, quote-unquote, racing around before your fuel runs out. It's a lazy game. It's Activision Value. Not saying Activision Value makes bad games. I played one of their games, Civil War Secrets, that was actually quite enjoyable, but they're not known for the highest of standards. Let's just say that. The next game that I just could not get into was Super Star Wars. Now, I want to like this game, but it's another one of those bone tough games that I just don't want to sit down and try to master. Even with the codes you can put in, I'm like, nah, I'm fine. I've seen people play it. Great game. Love the art. It's so cool. Just not for me. I just couldn't get into it. Yeah. And the last game as of right now, completed games that I've played that I just could not get into is Cowboy Bebop on the PS1. They actually do have a PS2 game that I would like to review in the future, but I'm talking about the Cowboy Bebop PS1 game. I actually have this game, the physical disc and everything. I found it on eBay in mint condition from Japan, and I bought it because, when are you gonna... It's a collector's item, whatever. This game, I've said in my review, it's an on-rails shooter that's not trying to be an on-rails shooter with weird physics. It's just not... I don't know, this game could have been so much better. If you want to see me break down that, I will link you to the review in the description below or somewhere on screen, but I talk way more about why I think this game wasn't great and failed in some ways in that review. Now, the video's almost over, so let's get into what you can expect from the channel from me, from being a Patreon for the next year. So I have a couple games coming up that I would hopefully like to get done. One of them is Star Wars Rogue Leader 2 for the GameCube. Yes. Hopefully I want to finish this game, but I don't know what's going on. There's some weird thing going on with the emulator that is making it just not really run right, so I'm going to try to work that out. If not, then I think I only have 2 missions left, so I might just do the review from there, but I like to finish a game completely before I give a review, because for me, it could be like a Shadow of Mordor game. I loved Shadow of Mordor, but I hated the ending, and I don't want to give awesome reviews on a game and then to find out the part that I didn't play was complete crap, and it makes my whole review invalid. So I like to finish games before I review them, and hopefully I can get this one done. I like what I see so far on Star Wars Rogue Leader 2, and I think it's just a general feeling that's going to go throughout. The next series I want to do is a SOCOM Fireteam Bravo series. I love the SOCOM series. I would love to do the whole SOCOM series, but I'm going to start small at the PSP games. I hate the controls, but I do love the games. I have already finished 1 game, and there's 2 in the Fireteam Bravo series, and then we have there's 3 in the Fireteam Bravo series, but I only have 2 more, and then there's 3 main console series. So we're gonna see how we get with that. I want to do more DOS games. I love me some DOS point and click games. Got some racing games, some full motion video games, strategies. It don't matter to me. I want to play them all. I also want to do some more C64 games. There's a lot of games that are forgotten, and a lot that don't have documentation, aside from some weird write-ups or walkthroughs that are from like the 80s when these games came out, and then videos that... There's one game I was playing recently that has 4 videos on it, but none are a complete walkthrough, so I want to do some C64 long plays. The game's only like 45 minutes once you get down to it, so I would love to do some C64 walkthroughs or long plays without me talking and all that stuff, you know, just to preserve these games before they go away completely. I'm also going to do some racing games. I would love to bring back the car series I did. I also want to do some live streams, racing games. I play The Crew a lot. I know The Crew and The Crew 2. Would love to do some racing stuff on there. I got some PS2 racing games. I got Gran Turismo. I got Dakar. There's a whole bunch. I love racing games and car games. I just don't get to feature them very much on the channel anymore. But I would love to bring them back. I also have montages I'm working on. By far the most time-consuming things I'm working on, so those aren't going to be like a regular thing. They're just going to trickle out when I can, because montages can take quite a while to edit. Sometimes while I'm editing, I'll find a new technique and then I'll completely scrap everything I have and redo everything. So those are going to come out as, you know, I see fit. And live streaming is the last thing that I want to do more regularly. I want to live stream on Twitch, Mixer, and Facebook Gaming, and wherever else I see fit, but those are the main 3, because I just want to try different things out there. I want to get into at least once a week stream, and I say once a week for now, because that still gives me time to do what I need to do in real life, and not strain my voice. I've been having issues, if you are on Patreon, and you have access to my Discord server, you know I have some kind of voice issues lately, or voice issues for the past couple years, that I can't be talking all the time every day. Otherwise, like, I will literally strain my voice until there's nothing left. So once a week should be good enough for now. And then if we want, as a group, we can increase the frequency, or we can scale back. It's all up to us, and we'll work together. That's what we do, because we're a family. I hope you guys like this video, and if you want, remember, the link is in the description below to become a patron. I really hope you guys come support. We are so close to getting one of my major goals, almost $100 a month, so let's see if we can get there, and then some goodies coming from that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.